Some songs were born famous, but some songs had to wait. They spent years, sometimes decades, sitting quietly on album tracks and B-sides, playing to modest crowds, getting modest reviews, being called promising or interesting or overlooked. And then a filmmaker heard them, and everything changed. Today we are counting down 10 massive rock hits that only became truly famous after being used in classic movies. Not songs written for a movie, songs that already existed. And then a director chose them for a scene that burned itself into the memory of a generation. And some of these stories are more extraordinary than the songs themselves. One director found the perfect song on his own wedding tape. One song almost wasn't in the film because the artist was accidentally sent the wrong movie. One was recorded in a single night by a guitar player who was broke, with a broken guitar held together by glue. Number 1. Old Time Rock and Roll. Bob Seger, 1978. Risky Business, 1983. Here is the part of this story that almost nobody knows. Bob Seger did not write this song. It was written by two songwriters named George Jackson and Thomas E. Jones III at Muscle Shoals Sound Studio in Alabama. They recorded a demo with Jackson on vocals, and then they sent it to Seger, who was finishing his 10th studio album and had run out of original material. Seger liked the song, but he couldn't get a recording he was happy with. He tried with his Silver Bullet Band. Didn't work. He tried again. Still didn't work. So he did something unusual. I'd rather hear some blues or funky old soul. He bought the original demo recording outright from Muscle Shoals, removed Jackson's vocal, put his own voice on top, and that is the record you know. Say I'm on fashion, say I'm over the hill. His own band was not happy. They told him the song was not silver bullety. They played it live in Germany anyway, just to see what would happen. The audience went wild. The band came around. The song was released in 1979. It peaked at number 28 on the Billboard Hot 100, a modest hit. Then came Risky Business. August 1983. A then unknown 21-year-old actor named Tom Cruise slid across a wooden floor in white socks and pink dress shirt and briefs while the piano intro played. And that 8-note piano riff became one of the most iconic pop culture moments of the decade. The song was re-released. It charted again. It has been parodied hundreds of times on television and film. Seger later admitted that not taking a songwriting credit on the track was, quote, the dumbest thing he ever did. The song went on to be declared one of the songs of the century in 2001, and the second most popular jukebox selection of all time, behind only Patsy Cline's Crazy, all from a demo track he bought and put his voice on. Number 2, Bohemian Rhapsody. Queen 1975, Wayne's World 1992. In 1975, Queen's record company told them a 6-minute operatic rock song was too long for radio and would never be a hit. They were wrong. Didn't mean to make you cry. It hit number 1 in the UK and the top 10 in the US. But by the early 1990s, the song had been largely forgotten in America. Classic rock stations had stopped playing it. Freddie Mercury was dying of AIDS in private. Queen had not toured the US since 1982. Then Mike Myers sat down to write Wayne's World. He grew up in Scarborough, Ontario, with British parents. As a teenager, he and his brother would drive down the Don Valley Parkway listening to Bohemian Rhapsody, timing it so they would cross into Toronto exactly as the rock section kicked in. He said they all claimed their own Galileo. If someone stole your Galileo, a fight would follow. That memory went straight into the script. Producer Lorne Michaels wanted a Guns N' Roses song. Director Penelope Spheris agreed with him. Myers refused. He said he had no jokes for a Guns N' Roses song. He had plenty of jokes for Bohemian Rhapsody. At one point, Myers told the producers, "I'm out. I don't want to make this movie if it's not Bohemian Rhapsody." He won. Didn't mean to make you cry. The scene was filmed overnight in Covina, California. Myers, Dana Carvey, and two friends headbanging in an AMC Pacer. Freddie Mercury was shown the scene before his death. He loved it. Carry on, carry on. Wayne's World opened on Valentine's Day, 1992, 3 months after Mercury died. Bohemian Rhapsody re-entered the Billboard Hot 100 after 16 years, climbing to number 2. Only Criss Cross's Jump kept it from the top. It spent 17 weeks on the chart. It was certified diamond in the US in 2021 for 10 million combined sales and streams. It is now the most streamed song of the entire 20th century on Spotify, with more than 2.8 billion plays. Number 3, Eye of the Tiger. Survivor, Rocky III, 1982. Sylvester Stallone wanted a song for Rocky III. He already had one. Queens. Another one, Bites the Dust. He had cut it into an early version of the film. It worked perfectly. Then Queen denied him the publishing rights. Stallone called Survivor, a Chicago bar band with 2 modest hits to their name. He left messages on their answering machines. When Jim Peterick played his message back, he heard, and this is a direct quote, "Hey, yo, Jim, that's a nice message you got there." This is Sylvester Stallone. Peterick and guitarist Frankie Sullivan watched a rough cut of the film. They saw Rocky's punches land on screen. Sullivan started hitting the guitar strings in time with the punches. The now famous dead string riff, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, came together in minutes. The music was finished the same day. The lyrics took 3 more days. Sullivan was so broke at the time that he recorded the demo with a guitar whose headstock had snapped off. He had glued it back together. That guitar recorded the demo. Stallone heard it and loved it so much he refused to wait for the official studio version. When Sullivan told him it was just the demo, Stallone asked, "What's a demo?" He used it. Tiger growls and all. Eye of the Tiger hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on July 31st, 1982. It stayed there for 6 weeks. It was the second best-selling single of the entire year. It sold over 5 million copies worldwide. It was certified double platinum in the United States, and it was only recorded because Queen said no. Number 4, Lust for Life. Iggy Pop. 1977, Trainspotting 1996. The opening drum beat of this song was stolen from a military radio signal. It's 1977 in West Berlin.
Advertising chickens.
Iggy Pop and David Bowie are living together, both trying to get sober. Bowie off cocaine, Pop off heroin. Once a week, they watch Starsky and Hutch, one of the few English-language programs on German television.
I'm just a modern guy.
And before the Armed Forces Network broadcast came on, they heard it. A Morse code-style radio call signal. Beep, 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 ba beep. Bowie grabbed his ukulele. He worked out the chords. He played it for Pop and said, "Call it Lust for Life. Write something up."
Prizes, I got a torture film.
The album was written, recorded, and mixed in 8 days. Bowie and Pop split the advance money down the middle after they had money left over from finishing so quickly. The song was released in 1977. It did not chart in America. It barely registered in the UK. Then in 1996, director Danny Boyle needed an opening song for a film about heroin addiction in Edinburgh. He chose the most joyful, propulsive, alive-sounding song about drug use he had ever heard. He put it over the film's famous opening sprint through the streets of Edinburgh. Trainspotting opened, and Lust for Life was everywhere. The song hit number 26 in the UK, nearly 20 years after its release. It was covered, sampled, and licensed to hundreds of films and commercials. Royal Caribbean Cruises famously used it to sell holidays to retirees. Pop said he was walking down the street when he started hearing his own music coming out of bars. He said it took 20 years, and it was a really long time to wait. Number 5, Where Is My Mind? Pixies. 1988, Fight Club, 1999. Black Francis wrote this song while scuba diving in the Caribbean. He was a student at the University of Massachusetts.
Where is my mind? Where is my...
A tiny fish started following him underwater. He could not understand why. The fish kept following him. He tried to swim away. It followed. He went up. It followed. He went sideways. It followed. He went home and wrote the song. The recording session itself has its own strange story. Producer Steve Albini was recording the vocals and overdubs in a bathroom to get the natural reverb of the tiles.
Except a little fish bumping to me.
Singer Kim Deal's backing vocal extends beyond the point where the tape actually ran out. The song ends abruptly because they ran out of tape. Albini made an edit. The abrupt ending stayed. He called it charming.
Where is my mind?
The song was not released as a single. It did not chart in the United States. The Pixies broke up in 1993. Then in 1999, David Fincher was finishing Fight Club. He needed the final scene, buildings exploding, Tyler Durden's world collapsing, to end with something that felt like a mind completely coming apart. He chose Where Is My Mind?
Where is my mind? Where?
The film's first split second after the explosion is silence. Then the drums hit. Then the voice, with your feet in the air and your head on the ground. Fight Club was a box office disappointment when it opened, but it became one of the most watched cult films of the next decade. And the Pixies went from cult band to internationally recognized rock icons largely on the back of that final scene. In 2004, NASA used the song to wake up the team working on the Spirit Mars rover during a software transplant. The Pixies reunited the same year, largely because so many new fans had found them through that one movie scene. Number 6, Don't You Forget About Me. Simple Minds, The Breakfast Club. 1985. Simple Minds refused to record this song 3 times. The song was written specifically for The Breakfast Club by Keith Forsey and Steve Schiff. Forsey's first choice was Brian Ferry of Roxy Music. Ferry heard the demo and knew immediately it would be a hit. He turned it down because he was busy recording his own album. He has regretted it ever since. Next came Simple Minds. Their guitarist Charlie Burchill later said they had, quote, delusions of being ultra hip. Lead singer Jim Kerr could not make sense of some of the lyrics. He especially hated the line vanity, insecurity, and there was a long stretch of la 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 that was supposed to be a placeholder melody, but it stuck. Their manager arranged a private screening of the film to change their minds. After the screening, they still refused. Then producer Forsey flew to Scotland and met with them in person. They liked him. He convinced them to give it 1 session. They recorded the track in a few hours at a studio in London. Kerr improvised the La 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 outro on the spot. Everyone told him not to change it. It stayed. The song hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on May 18, 1985. Simple Minds' first American chart entry was their only American #1. It also reached the top 10 across Europe, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. The film grossed $51 million from a $1 million budget. Burchill said in 2016, "When I listen to it now, it's obviously a brilliant, well-crafted pop song." He said he was embarrassed they had dissed it so much. The song they refused 3 times, their biggest hit. Song 7, Tiny Dancer. Elton John, 1971. Almost Famous, 2000. This song flopped. When it was released in 1972, Tiny Dancer peaked at number 41 on the Billboard Hot 100. It failed to even crack the top 40. The record company in the UK refused to release it at all. The song was 6 minutes and 12 seconds long, too long for radio. Radio stations that did play it used edits that removed the very parts that made it great. Jesus freeze. Elton John performed it live in England. He later said it would go down like a Led Zeppelin. For 30 years, Tiny Dancer lived on the album Madman Across the Water, appreciated by fans, largely ignored by everyone else. Then in 2000, Cameron Crowe was driving to the editing room for his film Almost Famous. He was struggling. The scene on the tour bus wasn't working. He needed something that could reset the emotional temperature of the whole film in one moment. He reached into his cassette deck. He had his wedding tape in there, a recording from the day he married Nancy Wilson of Heart. Tiny Dancer was on it. He described listening to it in the car and realizing, I drive off in my car. The song and the scene's lyrics and mood were a perfect fit. He ran into the editing room. The editor put it against the footage. Elton John heard about the scene from producer Jeffrey Katzenberg. Katzenberg called him and said, "There's a scene in this film that's going to make Tiny Dancer a hit all over again." Elton said, "When I saw it, I said, oh my God." After Almost Famous, Tiny Dancer became a regular part of John's live set for the first time. It earned its first gold certification in 2005, 34 years after release. By 2024, it was certified 5 times platinum in the US, a song found on a wedding tape, in a car, on the way to solve a different problem.
Tiny dancer in my hand.
Number 8, Misirlou, Dick Dale, 1962, Pulp Fiction, 1994. This song is over a century old. The earliest known recording was made in New York in 1927 by an Ottoman Greek musician named Theodotos Dimitriades. It was a traditional Eastern Mediterranean folk song. The title in Turkish means Egyptian girl. It was a gentle folk tune. Then in 1962, at a show at the Rendezvous Ballroom in Balboa, California, a Lebanese-American guitarist named Dick Dale was challenged by a young fan in the audience. The fan bet him he could not play an entire song on a single string. Dale remembered his father and uncles playing the oud, a traditional Middle Eastern lute. He remembered hearing Misirlou played on one string. He picked up his Stratocaster, he played it. But Dale played everything at maximum speed and maximum volume. He increased the tempo to something approaching a sprint. He hit the reverb. The audience came off the floor. Dale's version was released in 1962. It became a staple of surf rock. The Beach Boys covered it immediately. Then surf music died, and Dick Dale nearly died with it. In 1966, he was diagnosed with rectal cancer. In 1979, a swimming injury became infected and he nearly lost his leg. He survived both. He kept playing small venues. Then in 1994, Quentin Tarantino put Misirlou over the opening credits of Pulp Fiction. The gun, the diner, Amanda Plummer holding up her pistol, that guitar riff blasting out of nothing. Tarantino said of the choice, "Having Misirlou as your opening credit is just so intense. It says you're watching an epic, you're watching a big old movie." Dale earned his first appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman a few weeks after the film opened. He became a popular live act again for the first time in decades. The Black Eyed Peas sampled him on their 2006 hit Pump It, introducing him to yet another generation. Dick Dale died on March 16, 2019, age 81. He was still touring, still playing at maximum volume. Number 9, In Your Eyes, Peter Gabriel, 1986, Say Anything, 1989.
Nothing left out. Whoa.
Cameron Crowe found this song on his wedding tape. He had already used that tape to find Tiny Dancer for Almost Famous, but 3 years before Almost Famous, he used it to find In Your Eyes for Say Anything.
Whatever.
The scene was supposed to feature a Billy Idol song called To Be a Lover. By the time they were shooting, Crowe knew it was wrong. Multiple songwriting teams submitted new songs specifically for the scene. None of them worked. One day, driving to the editing room, he put his wedding cassette in the car stereo. In Your Eyes came on. He said the song and the scene's lyrics just fit perfectly. He drove straight to the editing room. The editor put it on the footage. That was it. Getting permission was another matter. Peter Gabriel initially turned the request down. He had been accidentally sent a rough cut of the wrong film, a biopic about John Belushi called Wired that he considered exploitative. He assumed Say Anything was something similar.
In your eyes.
Crowe got word to Gabriel through Rosanna Arquette, Gabriel's girlfriend at the time and the reported inspiration for the song itself. She put in a good word. Gabriel agreed to see the film. He saw it. He gave his permission. The producers were charged $200,000 for the rights. In Your Eyes had peaked at number 26 on the Hot 100 in 1986. After Say Anything, it re-entered the charts, reaching number 41.
And this emptiness fills my
John Cusack and Gabriel became forever linked by the image of that boombox. In 2012, at a Gabriel concert at the Hollywood Bowl, Cusack walked onto the stage during In Your Eyes, handed Gabriel a boombox, and took a bow.
They return, and the crowd beside.
Gabriel said they are both, and this is a direct quote, trapped together in a minuscule moment of contemporary culture.
Is them in your eyes?
Number 10, Come and Get Your Love. Redbone. 1974, Guardians of the Galaxy 2014. In 2014, Marvel Studios had a problem. Their next movie featured a raccoon with a machine gun, a talking tree that could only say 3 words, and a lead character who danced to a Sony Walkman. Nobody at the studio knew if audiences would accept it. Director James Gunn had a plan. He was going to open the film with a scene of a young boy walking alone through an alien planet, dancing, just dancing. Chris Pratt's Peter Quill, alone in a strange world, putting his headphones in and feeling the music. And the song Gunn chose for that opening moment was Come and Get Your Love by Redbone, a 1974 rock and funk hit by a Native American band from Los Angeles. The band had been formed by brothers Pat and Lolly Vegas of Mexican and Yaqui Native American heritage. They had turned down an offer from Jimi Hendrix to become his backing band in 1968 because they wanted to pursue their own music. Come and Get Your Love peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1974. Then it largely disappeared from public consciousness for 40 years. James Gunn put it over a Marvel superhero dancing through an alien landscape. The moment audiences heard those opening guitar notes paired with Chris Pratt's moonwalk through a primordial cavern, they were in. The film earned over $770 million at the worldwide box office. Come and Get Your Love re-entered the Billboard Hot 100 in 2014, 40 years after its original release. The song reached number 1 on Billboard's Hot Rock Songs chart. It was certified 3 times platinum in the U.S. Pat Vegas died in 2023. He never stopped saying that the thing he was most proud of was that the song stood for something about joy, and that a Marvel movie gave it back to the world.